right, good evening. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provision of the Act, the Kinnelon Board of Ed has caused notice of this meeting to be published in the Suburban Trends on January 19th and posted in the public library, filed with the Borough Clerk, posted on the district website, and I see that you all found that we're not in the auditorium. So I'm glad you made it. Roll call?
Yep. Mrs. Leonard?
Here.
Mr. Myers?
Here.
Ms. Farella?
Here.
Mrs. Portman?
Here.
Mr. Eisenmeyer?
Here.
Thank you.
We will have a closed session at the end of the meeting.
Action will be taken.
Action will not be taken. And with that, let's get to the Pledge of Allegiance. Back here. Thank you. Back there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, approval of minutes from the meetings of June 10th, June 24th, regular and executive. Can I have a motion?
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Leonard? Did you,
Or
did you go through each one or just?
any
Yes.
any discussion first? Any ways to make it better? Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Thank you. Ms. Leonard? Yes. Mr. Myers? Yes. Ms. Farella?
Yes.
Ms. Portman?
Yes.
Mr. Eisenmeyer?
Yes.
Thank you.
Luca has the summer off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll.
He'll start next month,
Okay.
August 26th.
Great. That means we're up to you and the superintendent's update.
That quick?
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to start by welcoming Ms. Lawler to her first official meeting with us, so welcome.
Thank you.
And with that, we have a few presentations tonight, just some updates from my office that are kind of like a preamble to the welcome back letter, which will go out to the community by the third week of August next month. And then we have Mr. Shivis with his SSDS annual report and Mrs. Thomas with her NJPGA report. Okay, so just a few updates. We do have a lot happening. I can't believe that it's already July 22nd. It feels like the last 5 weeks have gone by in a blink. And so some of our summer academic programs and updates, we've hosted the second Summer Learning Academy at Stony Brook School, thanks to Mrs. Thomas. That was another success. We completed our first STEAM program at Stony Brook School. I don't know why Stony Brook, Mrs. Utel, has been the choice this year, but it's been the choice. Our ESY program is still underway. Mrs. Tadros, who's here, thank you, doing a great job. This is the final week of it. Today we had our car wash, and it'll conclude on Friday. The Summer Math Academy, thank you to Mrs. Trombetta and her team at PRM and KHS. We did an intro to algebra. It concluded earlier this month, and geometry concluded today. Pre-calc honors is still in session. And what you'll find under the C section, and a big thank you to Mrs. Olawale, is a motion to approve our first ever study abroad trip to China, which is August 4th through 9th. So I know that Mrs. Olawale, Mr. Arroyo, who's also accompanying her, and a bunch of our students, we'd like to have them back for our August 26th public meeting and to have a few words and talk about the trip, maybe share some photos, whatever you want to do. It was a lot of work that happened rather quickly, so thanks to the board for supporting it, and thanks to Mrs. Olawale for jumping on something so fast in this immediate transition to the high school. So projects, we can't get away from our facilities and upgrades. Currently, if you've been outside on Kinnelon Road, you'll see that the track has been underway, the resurfacing, and actually now it's that loop of green and black. It meets. I think it's a very nice upgrade. And paving at the back parking lot of KHS will happen in August. Our back paving lot right here by the media center needs some repairs. At PRM, the concrete steps between PRM and Kiel School are currently being redone and resurfaced. We have boiler repair at PRM as well. At KHS, we made a concerted effort to purchase window units, I believe 24,000 BTUs, and put them all throughout the first and third floors of classrooms that did not have HVAC or any other classroom that didn't have HVAC functioning well enough. And we also added that to the weight room. We're almost done with that project. The KHS auditorium upgrade, the resolution's on the agenda tonight with Pure Tech for acoustic and audio upgrades. That's the phase one motion for what we're looking to achieve in the auditorium as far as increasing it and better improving it. Our interior security gates, you can't get away from security, are on site. They'll be assembled, and our security surveillance should begin in August at Kiel, Stony Brook, and PRM and all those backfields. Along with that, we're working with our architect on phase one of the culinary arts renovation at KHS. And we also have begun the dust collection system, which has been upgraded at KHS for the wood shop because we were not up to code. It needed a lift. So we have that along with Mr. Giannicelli in the tech department's phase three of improving our interior and our infrastructure technology. So I know a lot of folks, some I may call family at time to time, think, anything go on in the summer? It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. Every summer it looks different. It feels different. The finances are different, but it's a lot, and everybody's involved in that, including the board, with what seems to be nonstop information sent their way. So I apologize if anybody was on vacation when I send those notes and updates. Some fall dates to remember. It's right here. So we have our back-to-school nights. September 15th, Stony Brook. September 17th is Kiel. The 18th is PRM. Man, that's going to be a loaded week. And then the 25th is Kinnelon High School, and that's also the week for our public meeting, which is the 23rd. So that's a very busy month, September. And then additional, obviously the high school is the flagship. So some events, we have Thursday, October 9th is the 8th grade and new student open house. We don't have it on here, but Columbus Day is on Monday, October 13th, and that's our first professional development day, half-day minimum day for students. We have Friday, October 24th is the homecoming game, the 25th, homecoming dance, and the 13th to 15th is the fall drama performances, which we're very hopeful that in the timeline with our acoustic and audio upgrades that the auditorium will be ready to go for that performance. And then our holiday winter concert schedule. Again, Monday, December 8th is the choir here at the high school. Stony Brook follows the next night. Then you have Wednesday, the December 10th in the day, the kindergarten show. Thursday, the 11th is the first grade show in the day. Band back here at the high school at night. Friday, December 12th is the second grade music show, all in the day over at Kiel School. And then Monday, the 15th is the pre-K show in the morning with PRM choir. Follow at night here at KHS, and then Wednesday the 17th is the PRM 6th, 7th, 8th grade band, and then we finalize on Thursday the 18th with Mrs. Utel's team and Stony Brook, all here at the high school. So again, December, very, very busy month. November, a very short month. And so with that, at this time, that's my report. Does anybody have any questions on any of that information? No? Okay. So at this time, I'm going to call up Mr. Shivas, our supervisor of special projects, which are many, and he will present the SSDS update. Mr. Shivas?
Thank you, Mr. Mango, and thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. I hope you're having a good day. I'm Vinny Shivas. I am the supervisor of special projects, and twice a year, we're required to report publicly on the school safety of the district. This report, it collects data on two different types of information: violence, vandalism, and substance, and also threats. And the second one is HIB, harassment, intimidation, and bullying, both founded and unfounded, and any trainings that school put on for their student staff and or students. So the purpose of this report is to make sure that everything is accurate and to make sure that everybody, all stakeholders, community members, staff, board members, have the information. The report's presented twice a year, basically from September through December, at the start of the school year, and then what we're doing today from January 1st through the end of the school year, or June 30th. And like I said, today is going to be reported for January 1st to June 30th of 2025. Now, please bear with me. I know it's hard to see. This slide is more for the presentation when you look it up online later on. This is the data from 2023, 2024, so it's a year ago. So it gives us something to compare to what happened this year. All right, just so you know, just looking at the bottom line, We had 39 total incidents in that year for the 23-24 in the district. Most were in the high school and middle school, which is normal for the older kids to have the bulk of incidents in most schools. So moving forward to the 24-25, this is where we're at. And I'm glad to say we had significant drop-off in incidents that have to be reported. We're down to 23 total for the year. That's, again, the entire district, with the bulk still being at the high school and the middle school. So here is something a little easier for everyone to look at and read. And it compares the 2023, which are the white columns, the 2023-2024 school year, to the green column, which is 24-25 school year. So obviously we want the green columns to be less than the white columns to show that we're making improvement. And you can see in total incidents, the high school dropped by 3. Kiel is their normal, usual, minimum 1 incident. PRM dropped significantly from 18 down to 6. Stony Brook had 1. Stony Brook dropped from 1 to 0, which I don't know how you improve on 1, but you did. Congratulations, Ms. Utel. And as a district, we dropped from 39 total incidents to 23, as I said earlier. That's about a 40% drop from one year to the next. That's phenomenal. If you just look across the bottom line, the next big one that really comes up is substance. And again, that's usually the older kids. The high school went from 12 substance situations down to 5, which is a phenomenal increase again. And moving along to the right, 2 more columns to the right, you got HIBs confirmed. We dropped significantly from 24 to 14. Those were the confirmed ones, not total. And the big savings there, the big increase there, improvement there, I should say, is PRM. PRM did a phenomenal job going from 18 incidents the previous year down to 6 this year. So kudos to Mr. Mongan and Ms. Josephides, and hopefully Mr. Sudo can keep that trend going down in next year. And then the alleged HIBs in the far right-hand column, you can see we did go up, but those were alleged, those were not found. So there really wasn't much there. It might have been a code of conduct violation, but it did not classify as an HIB. The one thing I do want to talk more about is Mr. Mongan and Ms. Josephides made it a point to cut back on HIBs this year. So they had a plan in place in which Ms. McLean went into each classroom, spoke to the kids about HIB, what constitutes an HIB, what doesn't constitute an HIB, consequences, and so forth. And then later on, a few weeks later, a month later, Mr. Mongan and Ms. Josephides went into each classroom and reiterated what she taught them and went over expectations with the kids, and I think that helped significantly. So we're looking to continue that, and hopefully the trend continues going down in the near future, or next year, I should say. That's pretty much it for the SSD. Does anybody have any questions? All right, thank you. And Ms. Thomas, you're up next, I believe.
Good evening. I'm Lauren Thomas, Director of Curriculum. So I'm here to report the New Jersey Graduation Proficiency Assessment results. We have to report that to the public every summer. So quickly, I'll just give you a little recap of the NJGPA as I do every summer. All 11th grade students have to take the NJGPA. It is, they're tested in ELA and math. So it's aligned to the grade 10 ELA standards, and the math is Algebra 1 and Geometry. So pathway 1 is the NJGPA, because if students do not make the cut score for the ELA proficiency or math on the NJGPA, there's other pathway options. So pathway 1 is the NJGPA. They must achieve a 725 or greater on each section. And again, as I mentioned, there are other pathways if they do not pass that. Pathway 2, we make this available to students who have completed the NJGPA. So they must sit for the assessment first, and if they're unsuccessful, then we can seek out other pathway options. We can't automatically use other options. They do have to sit for that first. So any of the second pathway options could be the PSAT, the SAT, the ACT, or the AccuPlacer. And pathway 3, if they're unsuccessful on any of those other competency tests, then we can use a pathway 3, which is a portfolio appeal. And what that includes are just a compilation of the student work, student transcripts, an intervention plan for the student, and then we create the constructive response tasks within the building. We grade them in the building, and we just submit those scores to the state. So it's really run by us in the district. So those are for students who really need that more support and really are struggling with taking those formalized assessments. So this is another great option in order to assure that they are proficient in ELA and math before they graduate. And these are our results. So KHS compared to the state. This is pretty similar from last year and even the previous year. Our ELA remains strong. We are at 96.7% proficient, which is fantastic. We have a very small percentage of students who did not reach proficiency. So we are exploring those other pathway options for our students. And in math, we have an 86.7% graduation ready and 13% not yet proficient. Again, nice small groups. We did incorporate the AccuPlacer last year. That was new to us in district. And the AccuPlacer is one of those secondary pathways that we can use. What's great about that assessment is it's not as intense as the NJGPA. So for students who do require that support, it's a little bit easier for them, but it still assures that proficiency in those two subject areas. So what we do is we pull those students, we put them on a specialized plan, we work with them, we prep them, and then we sit and test them in a nice small group. Here's our subgroups, just female, male, and IEP students. Any other subgroups, we really don't have enough of a percentage here in districts, so these are the subgroups. And again, this is very similar to what we've seen in the past. So next steps, as I mentioned, we are going to prepare our small group of students who weren't proficient in either ELA or math, and we're going to prep them for the AccuPlacer. So we plan on giving the AccuPlacer sometime in the fall, probably late fall. That way it gives them enough time to prep, plan, and prepare. And then for students who do not meet that cutoff score in the AccuPlacer, we'll move to the portfolio assessment. We did not have to do the portfolio assessment last year, I don't believe, right? We had all of our students pass through the AccuPlacer. So as I mentioned, it's a pretty, fairly easy test to give, fairly easy test to prep for. So I'm pretty confident that we can do the same this year. And we'll work closely with the supervisors and with Mrs. Olawale to make sure that we pull those students and prep them with enough time and enough information. And that was it. So those are our scores. We're, maintaining, again, like we have in the past several years, pretty good averages for the proficiency. And all of this went home to the parents. So parents, you should have received a notification. It was sent through real time. This was done a couple weeks ago. So you are able to view your students' scores through real time on the parent portal. If you have any questions, please contact me at the board office or you can email me, and I'm happy to walk you through that. That's all. Any questions? No? Thank you.
Thank you for the updates and the reports. And as we're resetting, we move into committee reports. So, fair warning for committee chairs. Ready? All right, Mr. Myers, how was finance?
Yeah, so we did meet on the 16th. We met probably for about an hour and a half. We covered a whole lot of different topics, so I'm just going to run them down, some of which are on the agenda for approval today. We did talk about the KHS track, estimated August 3rd to be finalized, so great progress there. We did talk about new cafeteria point of sale, so this is some of the financial ways to pay for the things in the cafeteria. Will be connected to the parent portal coming up in the near future. New facilities scheduler, so how people can book rooms and existing infrastructure here externally and internally. Some tech updates, talking about network additions, Chromebooks, etc. Some security updates, some of which include security gates, some surveillance installations. Also reviewed some bus attendance. reviewed the attendance summary, which was really fascinating, I think. So we can get into that at some point. We discussed mascot uniforms, which was a fun conversation. Equipment replacements such as HVAC, boiler repair, etc. Surplus cap reserve. Some of the other things in that area are the KHS paving status, which is on the agenda for approval. Also, as we said, the auditorium audio facility is also going to be on for approval. We also talked about playground and lunch aids, cafeteria and Maciano's updates, the visitor bleachers, a desire to kind of update those as well. We talked about different types of morning arrivals, potentially for early morning arrivals at KHS, and also reviewed some of the board goals. So it was a very dense, rapid fire meeting, but a lot of topics. That's it.
Great. Thank you. Personnel did have a multi-hour meeting. Want to thank the committee and also the representatives from KAA who joined us for the multi-hour discussion, and it's ongoing, so nothing to report there. On the agenda, you'll see a lot of housekeeping items, but I think the most substantive is the salary guide for the lunch aides or the
Lunch and playground aids.
playgrounds, right? Yeah. Kelly, education?
Sure. So we met on last Thursday, July 17th. I know we've all been talking about, we do get so much done in the summer. Again, almost 3 hours in our meeting. Lots going on, really exciting stuff, a lot of things on the agenda tonight. So we talked about a lot of coaching positions that are open, what's happening, why there's movement there. We also talked about the KHS calendar changes, some schedule changes, and we also talked about re-entering midterms and finals, and we're really happy about that because we think it's going to provide our students with the best optimum academic opportunities. It's going to align with postgraduate work, which, if you're in college, that's exactly what you're doing, so it'll get our students ready for it. And on the days that they have the midterm and the finals, it will be half days. And it will be however the teacher decides to assess the end of the year. It could be a presentation, it could be a paper, it could be a test. It doesn't necessarily have to be a sit-down test for the midterm and final. So that's exciting. We have lockers are going to be reintroduced at both PRM and KHS, so I'm sure the students will be happy about that. It will be definitely a change for them, but I'm really excited because I think it will be helpful for everybody. We talked about the cell phone policy. I know policy did this, but we also talked about it within education. We also talked about, now that we have new principal and new leadership at the high school, some changes that are going to be rolled out for next year. We talked about an inspirational keynote speaker that's coming in to speak with the students and get everybody excited for that first week of school. It's on the agenda tonight. We talked about a club fair kicking the year off so that the students can really decide and assess where they want to put their attention and focus throughout the year. We talked about the possibility of a mascot and getting, how would we fill that role, what would we do, and talking about really like the costume, where we would get it, how we would design it, and just talking about the Colt Cafe, which is going to be just a really nice addition for our students this year to have a place when they're not in class to kind of relax and get a coffee and confectionery. We also talked about the Beijing and Tangshan trip to China. We're so excited for our students to be able to get that opportunity. So we do have 14 students that will be heading over, and we just talked a little bit more about the details of the trip and all of the educational opportunities for it. We talked about the Colt Connect, which has been absolutely fantastic this year. It's really provided a lot of important information, very in a user-friendly way, so that everybody can kind of go on and connect with what's new in our district. We also talked about the Project Lead the Way, which was a really exciting grant that we got for our robotics teacher that's going to open up some really great opportunities for our students at the high school this year. We also talked about building a stronger relationship with Caldwell University, so we're going to have a lot of dual enrollment classes, and what we're gonna do for that is we're going to allow our students to be able to pay and then get college credit for that, which is really, really an amazing opportunity for our students again. And Caldwell University is a wonderful university. We're really excited about partnering with them. Also, we have our Let It Grow initiative, which is one of our board goals for last year, and we are continuing to move forward with that, and we have some really exciting opportunities for our younger kids to just really become more independent, grow in their autonomy, be able to play, and just build their sense of self without parents kind of scaffolding or teachers always scaffolding that. So we're really excited to implement these interventions that are really going to support our board goal. And then we talked about just the possibility of expanding the cafeteria, just the possibility, and meeting with some architects to see if we could do that, and just really providing a little bit more space during the lunch hours for our students. So it was a busy meeting.
Thank you. Yeah, policy.
We met last week and we talked about the volunteer coaches policy. It's up for first reading tonight. Just looking here. Policy 9181. We didn't make a lot of big changes. Some of the things that we looked to change was to designate the director of athletics to be the point person, to be organizing or making decisions within this policy for volunteer coaches and advisors. Another thing we looked to add to the policy was that all rules and requirements would be followed as designated by the NJSIAA. Ms. Whitwer had said that, you know, she's making sure that's happening anyway, but it would be good, you know, she advised that it would be good for us to add that to our policy, which we agreed. And then we were just looking to have some type of statement that would kind of have volunteer coaches match the amount of students we have participating, and also kind of like the specificity of the sport. So some teams, some sports require a lot more technical input, which would be valued by volunteers. Some sports don't need that quite as much. So we felt that the director of athletics and the head coach could be the ones to determine that. I think that's pretty much it for that policy. And then Ms. Thomas just updated us on the virtual remote plan. We have one every year. It's just you need to have it updated to show what people, what dates, what things like that. Everything else is pretty much the same in it. And then we briefly talked about draft version of board and district goals, and with the idea that we would kind of mull that over and continue to discuss that with a goal to have more firm goals in place by August.
Great.
Oh, you know, one thing I wanted to mention for policy 9181, if you click on the hyperlink, I just noticed this prior to the meeting, it's like a little part of the paragraph got cut off as we're going from page 2 to 3. So it should still be okay, I think, to approve it as first reading. And then we'll just make sure that we have it written correctly. It's not that we're
Is it,
removing anything, it's just like a typo.
okay.
It was cut off, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And then also under policy is attendance for staff.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was more or less just a way where if there is 3 days of sick absences, of sick, you're required to have a letter or a note from a physician, which we already have in place, but then we wanted to revise it to be 3 with family illness, anything beyond 3, or a combination of the 2. Sickness and family illness will be requiring a note. So,
3 consecutive days.
yes.
Yeah.
So tonight is the first reading. August will be the final. We do have our convocation on the 25th, so while it won't be final by the 25th, we'll be within a 24-hour window. I will address our staff that day at the convocation about this change. So if there's any kind of combination of the three, that's really the difference as opposed to the three consistent family. And also this came in with, Governor, the governor's office with family illness days and giving 1,000,000 days, and it kind of really, what it does is it handcuffs school districts like ours. And our job is to perform consistently, so it's just not extra days to utilize. And we have to monitor that, which we will.
Yep. So that's up for first reading? First reading? Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Delegates, New Jersey School Boards. Back to this department, yeah.
It's been quiet so the past month. We did put a nominee in for Unsung Hero, so it's a little
Great.
teaser. But I haven't heard anything yet.
Okay. Morris County? Okay. Legislative, there is a new county committee with the legislative folks. And all I know is that it's happened, so, I think this fall there's gonna be a little more countywide action in terms of talking. So if there are things that we are facing, is probably gonna be facing other districts too. So we may be working together to, make our voices heard. So that'll be pretty cool. Morris County ESC,
They don't have a meeting till the fall.
cool. Community relations.
We haven't had CAC.
That's right. K-Cares, Frank is indisposed, and KEF.
That's not me, I'm not sure.
That's not you? Anybody want it? Making sure. Yeah. All right.
Generally, there's usually delegates.
True. I understand. Petitions and hearings of citizens on agenda items or attendance. Anybody? Anything online? Okay. So we'll take agenda items as a block vote. So there's a lot of business. Thank you everybody for highlighting your sections and any critical or substantive issues. Anything that needs further discussion or clarification? Take a minute, just
I was gonna ask about the policy number 2, the HIBs. If, I think there was some additional discussion,
okay.
if
Oh.
we could table that
Sure.
until next month, and I don't know what the
Okay.
formal procedure
Yeah.
is, so to make a
School's not in
motion for that.
session anyway, so anybody opposed to that tabling Hibbs till next month? Okay. Cool.
What you're gonna do.
Anything else?
I do want to say,
Sure.
I don't have my glasses. So I'm looking at kind of like, I know it's in the VA section, so let me find, so page 4 and 5.
Okay.
I want to thank Ms. Lawler for condensing thank you, the motion on all of our contracts under facilities. I like this idea going forward. It kind of it tells a tale right there.
Yep.
So as opposed to separate motions, it's one motion in the block, and it goes right down everything that Mr. Myers spoke to and that we discussed during our report. So from Pure Tech right on down. So it's easy for our community members to see.
Thank you.
I also appreciated having that little cap reserve notation
Oh,
for the
good.
things that are
Yeah,
falling under cap reserve, so,
thank you. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
like it.
yeah.
And I'll say while we're still here before the vote, just if everybody, I'll remind you, I will, but just note somewhere by like the first week of August, not the week of like next week that flows into August, but the following week. Take a look at the draft goals because there's a lot on our plate going forward, and especially with the 20 minutes at PRM. That will be a lot for us when we're talking about furthering, looking at time changes. What does that mean for Kill and Stony Brook? The 20 minutes there. What do we want to do with their schedule as opposed to here? What about the 8th grade possibly coming over here? And if not, how do we maneuver that to infuse our 8th grade students about, into our goal from this past year about student retention? And there's also courtesy busing, which which I know is, you know, depending on who you talk to in our community, some people are happy that we're looking at it, some folks might not be so happy, but we're not Burger King. And so, you know, there is statute, there are rules, there are regs, and if our buses are not being utilized, I think that's a very big tax burden on our entire community, aside from our budget, where we could then utilize some finances in a different way in facility upgrades that we so desperately need, since we did not go out for a referendum. So I think there's a lot out there, you know, just take a few minutes, look at it, send it to me, and we can do that. And committee meetings are that week of August 18th. So the following week is our convocation on the 25th, our public meetings are 26th, our students start the 27th and 28th, but the half days and then it's Labor Day. What's that?
This was last year.
Strategic plan, yes.
Are we working on something, so
Yes, it's funny you're bringing that up.
back to that?
Absolutely. So we have two other things that are coming. One will be in the fall. Ms. Lawler will do a presentation on everything that we've done as far as facility, security, infrastructure beforehand. I'll be helping her, but it'll be her presentation, which will then fall in line with the LRFP. That'll be in the fall, maybe like the November meeting, because typically our November meetings are calm, right before Thanksgiving. And that would be a good way, it's a good segue into June when we would want to revise our LRFP of 2026. So that would be everything we've done from January 1 of 2023 on, us as a group, as a board, because we've all been consistent. And again, for our community, it just tells the tale. These are the things we were able to tackle and achieve, and here's some things in some areas that we need to continue to approve and assess. And then also with Mrs. Thomas and Mrs. Trombetta, we're going to do not like a tri-form, but we'll do a presentation at one of our public meetings. Will just be an update in the infusion of the strategic plan and the gains we've made along with our district and board goals, because really a lot of our district and board goals come from aspects of the strategic plan. So I think it's important for the community and for everybody to know where we are as far as that process.
Yeah.
So, good point.
Did you have something else?
That's
Okay.
all I have, Mr.
Okay.
President.
No, no, Vice
John?
President, Vice President.
But right now, you're
For the day,
president.
yeah. Anything? Good? Good? Okay. Then we need a motion to take the vote on all the agenda items.
As revised.
As revised, yep, and tabling the one in policy.
Table.
Yep. Motion, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Would you
All
poll the
right.
board?
Any discussion?
Policy D2?
Item D2
Yep,
Okay.
is the table.
yep.
All right, Mrs. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Mrs. Perella?
Yes.
Mrs. Portman?
Yes.
Mr. Eisenmeyer?
Yes. All right. Anything for unfinished business? The track is unfinished, but it will,
It's looking good.
it's looking good. Yeah. Any new business? Correspondence? Petitions and hearings from citizens on non-agenda items? Nope, okay. And board member comments? Who'd like to go? Sure.
I hope everyone's having a wonderful summer. Don't forget to go to the carnival. It's the first week of August. Thanks. Good night.
You good? Anybody else?
It just needs to be said, and we all feel it. Dave shared the information with us about the passing of Mrs. Merlucci, so we're all praying for the Papendick and Merlucci family.
Yeah. Good. Yes, I agree with that, and goes without saying, our hearts are broken, and everybody's thinking of them, and the young people who, were doing their job, on duty that day, and You know, anything we can do as a community to support them, you know, I think we should. Yeah. All right. With that, we do need to move into an executive session. So we'll need a motion to go into exec. As we said at the top, we're not intending to take any action tonight, so nobody needs to stay. We need a motion, though, to move, so
Motion.
thank you. Second? All in favor?